Hey, I'm Bob Morley. I'm in the 100. I play Bellamy Blake, and you're watching Supanova TV. Cheers.
Just wanted to ask if you guys have a favourite TV show you're binge watching at the moment.
Ooh. I mean, I went through The Sopranos, but that was a couple years ago. But I really liked that show. Orange is the New Black. Now I'm watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend because I think she's hilarious. Yeah. What about you?
I watch everything, but I haven't had time recently to keep up actually on anything. But I think the last thing I watched, The OA, was incredible. Really big fan of that. Westworld was great. I watch everything, like anything that's on television. I will watch. If it was terrible, if I get 2 minutes in, I'm stuck. Like, and it could be like 22 episode seasons. I'm like, well, here we go. I hate this show, but not leaving the house until it's time to go back to work.
That's why you show up in public with your hair like that.
That's correct, actually. Yeah, I do. Well, this morning she was getting ready, and I was like, I'm gonna go get a tea, and just screw around until we have to leave 10 minutes later. She's like, but you have to shower, and I'm like, yeah, okay, bye. And like, I literally showed up 14
She's lying.
minutes.
She just covers it up with like bad perfume.
I don't shower. I've taken a page out of Clerks. Something.
I'm like, you're not actually Nyla today. You know that, right? Yeah.
It feels like it. I'm not even wearing socks. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's very cozy.
I honestly cannot tell you how excited I am. The first comic book that I ever bought by myself was Spider-Man 2099, and I am now standing next to Spider-Man 2099. Now, first of all, who have we got underneath there?
My name is Baxter.
Fantastic. Now, Baxter, where did you get the suit? It looks so good.
Oh, thank you. I got it made in America. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can just hear you.
Okay. Custom made by Secret Spider-Man. Top job.
Secret Spider-Man. Now, also, how long have you been working out to get into the shape for it? Because you fit it right.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I've just always been fit. I played sport, so yeah, I do gym, all of that.
I'm really jealous because I know that I would never ever be able to get away with wearing this. But at the same time, the fins and everything just look so cool.
Thank you. Yeah, they're actually Batman fins, but
They're Batman fins. Okay, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Spider-Man has Batman fins. That's just shocking. And what about the face mask? Because that's really cool. Is that like, did you make that as well?
No, that was also made for me by a guy, Replica Industries. Again in the States, and they make it fit for your head, so it's fantastic. I love it. It's not too bulky or big. And I have magnets.
Oh, so actually, that's so cool. They actually come off with magnets, so you can actually see the rest of the time.
Yeah, and breathe.
That's so cool. Thank you, Miguel O'Hara. It's been an absolute pleasure.
We are here with the incredible and local Bob Morley. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, you are a Melbourne local, so it's great to have you back here.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy to be back here after 3 years, I think.
3 years
So
away
Supanova
from
was my first con 3 years ago.
No way. No
Yeah.
way. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness. And that was before the 100, correct?
I think season 1 had come out.
Okay.
But so there was a lot of Home and Away and Neighbours people here prior to that. And there's still like a few loyal people.
Now,
out there,
you
so.
were on Home and Away for 2 years, correct?
Home and Away for about 2 years, and then Neighbours like a year and a half or something
Oh, my
like that.
goodness. And the number of episodes that you were in within that space of time is just incredible. I think Home and Away was almost 150.
Was it?
Yeah, that's what Google says.
Yeah, okay, yeah, well, there you go, 150. Yeah, but it's kind of like, it's like going back to university and like being part of the institution again there. And it's kind of like being an apprentice and learning on the job. So yeah, it's a good place to learn.
Yeah, now since Home and Away and Neighbours, you've had the chance to go overseas and travel a lot, as well as doing the convention circuit.
Yeah.
What is the strangest misconception that you found people have about Australians overseas?
I think, like, I mean, obviously people don't realise that I'm actually Australian.
Okay.
But the strangest misconception about Australians, maybe, I think it's like the kangaroo and koala thing, yeah.
Yep.
But I did grow up in the country on a farm, so yeah, there's a lot of like kangaroos out there. So
yeah, you almost do ride.
But I didn't ride them to school. No.
No. Now, have any of your experiences on the farm bled through into working on the 100?
You know, I actually, like, I went back to my mate's place and I thought, you know what, like, Bellamy uses a lot of guns and I might be better at shooting. And I went back home and I went out shooting with my mate and I was actually a terrible shot.
Oh, no.
And, like, it's absolutely horrible. It's a really uplifting story.
Excellent.
Yes.
Now, shooting in real life and shooting for film is probably a little bit different. When you are shooting for film, are you aiming for something?
No. So, I mean, like, we have blanks and all that kind of stuff. There was one scene, I think, season 3, we were shooting, filming in a underground parking lot. And they pulled me in from my trailer. It was like lunch had just finished. And when they have blanks, like it's either like a quarter load, half load, 3/4 load, or a full load. So they put a full load into my gun, which is a blank. So it's full, like a full load of gunpowder because they wanted the muzzle flare, so it like flash. Yeah. But they rushed me in from my trailer, and so I'm standing there with like an M16, start firing with a full load. Everyone else has got earplugs in, but I did not. In an underground car park, and I couldn't hear for like the next 2 days.
Oh my goodness,
yeah.
because of the echo.
Yeah.
It's amazing because I always kind of thought that it would just be done in post-production or something like that.
Sometimes it is, yeah. It depends on like how much time we actually have and like how much money the show has at that point. But yeah, they wanted like a muzzle flare for that particular episode, but yeah, ended up just destroying my eardrums, which is nice.
Okay, and is that
this is like actually very. You know what? Let's talk about something nice.
Talk about
Apart from me, like
something nice.
Yes.
So, what is the best part about being back in Australia?
Actually, yesterday my nephews, that are 4 and 6, came here yesterday, and it was really cool because I haven't seen them for about 14 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, they came here and they got like some Transformers gear and all that kind of stuff. And
so they weren't just here for you. They
were
excited about the
they saw me in the green room and they were like, okay, when are we going back out there to see the Star Wars stuff? But yeah, it was really nice to see the family and hang out.
So your family are obviously big on pop culture then. Did you grow up in the pop culture sphere?
Not particularly. I mean, me and I've got 2 sisters and 1 brother. I'm the youngest, so we used to dress up as the Ninja Turtles and stuff.
Of course. Who was your favourite?
I was Raphael, yes, and he's still my favourite. But yeah, no, I mean, my brother's not so much into it. He's like more of a footy guy. But like, my little nephews read like all the comics. Like they're reading like some Alan Moore. Actually, yeah. Well, I don't know if they're reading it. They've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, read The Watchmen.
How old are your nephews?
Yeah, I'm like, read The Watchmen. Yeah. You'll understand the Cold War. You'll get that.
Totally. Well, we are so grateful to have you back here.
I'm so glad to be here. It was great.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no worries.